Alright guys, June is rapidly approaching, which means we're getting closer to the next Nintendo Direct. The general expectation for 2024 is that it's going to be filled with ports and remakes for Nintendo. And I actually kind of agree with this for the most part. I think Nintendo is eyeing 2025 as their landmark year, which means they're not going to want to reveal anything super crazy. They'd probably rather keep it in the back pocket for the Switch's successor's launch window. So I don't think it's outrageous to think that the holiday season of this year is going to be filled with ports and remakes. However, Nintendo does have to get through this holiday season, which I highly encourage them to take serious if they want a lot of momentum heading into 2025. I think just a strong holiday season, one last push, one last Christmas and Black Friday will do the company wonders, keeping its dedicated player base rolling into the Switch successor. So today, the Nintendo Direct is approaching, as we said. So let's look at the games I expect for us to see. And I'm going to do this in the order of likeliness, okay? So we're going to start with an honorable mention, Fire Emblem. Keep in mind, I'm not the biggest Fire Emblem fan, so I'm not the best source of information on this series. However, it has been over a year since the last release. Fire Emblem has been on a tear through the Switch's lifespan. So if Nintendo does need one more home run to get through the holiday season, I think a Fire Emblem game could be that grand slam for them. Not to mention, Fire Emblem Genealogy of War has been rumored for a while now, but again, it's not a franchise that I keep up closely, so I could be off basis there. Okay, now time for number 5. Super Mario Odyssey 2. This is wishful thinking at this point. I used to defend Super Mario Odyssey 2. I love Mario Odyssey. But as we're winding down on the Switch, I just don't think we're getting Super Mario Odyssey 2. It's one of my... Odyssey is one of my favorite games of all time. I really wanted to see a sequel. But the only mainline 3D Mario game to get a sequel is Super Mario Galaxy 2, which was released on the Wii as well as the original Galaxy. And the reason I say that is because if we don't get Super Mario Odyssey 2 by the time we wrap up the Switch's lifespan, I don't think we're getting an Odyssey 2. I know a lot of people believe it's going to be a Switch 2 launch title, but Nintendo has never done that. Mario 64 went to Sunshine, not Mario 64 2, right? Sunshine went to Galaxy, not Sunshine 2. Even the NES, Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3 are all on the NES. When it went to the Super Nintendo, it became Super Mario World, not Super Mario Bros. 4. So that's kind of my conventional wisdom, is they've never done a sequel on a different console. I don't know if they would try that now. And it stings. It does sting a little bit because we never even got DLC for Mario Odyssey. I really wanted to fire up a new adventure in the Odyssey game engine one last time. But if that game doesn't get announced here very soon, I just think we'll be moving on to a completely different Mario adventure. Again, in the same way that we went from Sunshine to Galaxy. Completely different adventure. Okay, so next up is Kirby Planet Robobot. I'm a huge Kirby fan, however, this game has always escaped me for one reason or another. I'd love to see it get brought over to the Switch. A lot of people say it's in their top 5 Kirby games of all time. I really want to play it, guys. I'm not sure if there's any mechanics that would be exclusive to the 3DS that couldn't be brought over. Again, I've never played it, so if there are any mechanics, let me know. We know they've reworked games. Like, I did not think Wonderful 101 would make it to the Switch, but I guess they reworked that one because it did get a Switch release. However, this line of thinking is why I'm going with a new a Kirby 3DS port over people who think maybe Kirby and the Rainbow Curse could get brought over. I think that game is just too dependent on the gamepad to get brought over to the Switch. It's the same reason you won't see Star Fox on today's video, or Star Fox Zero anyway, is because I think those games are just too Wii U dependent. However, Kirby is another one of those franchises like Fire Emblem that has been very active on the Switch. Be it new releases, remakes, or eShop exclusives, Kirby is very, very active and I think it could do really well this holiday season. Next up, Xenoblade Chronicles X. I think it's likely that we will be getting a Wii U port, and we'll talk about another 2 here in a minute. But there's plenty of games being tossed out, like I said. 2 we'll talk about here in a minute. But my vote is Xenoblade Chronicles X. I think it makes a lot of sense. For starters, the name. Xenoblade Chronicles means something to a lot of Nintendo's die-hard RPG fans. I also think the rest of the Xenoblade Chronicles series is playable on the Switch, so it really does make sense to go ahead and port Xenoblade Chronicles X over to the Switch. That way, if you're a big Xenoblade Chronicles fan, you can play the entirety of the franchise on one console. I really don't think this is a bad option to have for a Christmas-like release. Maybe this would be a good complement to a bigger release such as Pokemon, Zelda, or Metroid. Either way, very solid option. Next up, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD. And it feels like I've been skeptical of this rumor for 5 years now. I remember making blog posts and YouTube videos talking about people saying this was the most likely Wii U game to get ported over. If you guys remember, 2020 was the big year of ports. I don't remember the timeline exactly, but you had Tropical Freeze get ported over. You had Pikmin 3 get ported over. Way more than that, but I can't remember them all. Like I said, Wonderful 101 got ported over. So many games were getting ported over, and this was one that everybody talked about. And I said, whoa. We need to get not Twilight Princess. We need to get Skyward Sword off the Wii. And we did that. We got Skyward Sword off the Wii. I said that was the most likely Zelda game to get ported over, and it did. And now here we are finding ourselves at the end of the Switch's lifespan going, are we getting Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD combo or not? I mean, where did this rumor even come from? I don't even remember anymore. It was 4 or 5 years ago when people started saying this. And I think now's the time to do it, right? I will say, I am way more in favor of... I just made a short talking about how I'd rather get Ocarina of Time than Breath of the Wild. But of course, there's still this bundle looming. But I think out of every game we've talked about, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons desperately need the remake more than maybe any other Zelda game. Whether that's done in the same art style as Link's Awakening or what have you. I just think it needs to come to the Switch very, very soon. But here's an idea I haven't seen anybody talk about. Link to the Past. Yeah, how about that? We're always talking about the handhelds or the 2D style games getting brought over to the Switch since Link's Awakening happened. Like, ooh, what's going to be the next retro Zelda game to come back? And I don't see a lot of people talking about Link to the Past. Maybe that's because it's on the Super Nintendo online service. But I think it's a tricky one because how do you do it, right? Do you leave it in its original art style and then try to package it off as a $60 new game? Or do you give it like the Link's Awakening art style? But then you run the risk of purists losing their minds because you changed something about Link to the Past. So with all that in mind, I do think Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD is the safest option. I think if they just say, here, we're porting these over, maybe we've added something, maybe we haven't, but we didn't mess anything up, then I think that's the safest bet to appease all Zelda fans. I think you start talking about Ocarina of Time or Link to the Past, and you could mess up. You could not do them justice, and you could upset the fan base. So, with them announcing that they're not doing DLC for Tears of the Kingdom, I'm very interested to see where Zelda goes from here. Number 1, Metroid 2 and 3 Combo Pack. This is my surefire bet, all chips to the table. My one prediction that if I had to bet my life on, it's this. I saw someone say that it would be weird for Metroid 1 to get a standalone release, and then Metroids 2 and 3 get a combo pack. But I'm actually confident that that's how they would do it. Yeah, it's maybe less money in the short run, but here's my thought process, okay? We saw them do this with Pikmin. Pikmin 3 got ported, got a standalone release. And then as we got closer to Pikmin 4, Pikmin 1 and 2 got a combo deal, right? So they've done this before with trilogies where they release one game and then bundle the other two. So I think it definitely works. The other reason is, if it's official, if it's true, the Switch successor is coming out next year, I think you want Metroid Prime in that launch window. I mean, let's say they follow up with the Switch's release pattern of March. I don't know if they will, but they released the Switch in March, right? So let's say they release the successor in March. I think by Christmas, somewhere in that timeline between March and Christmas, you want Metroid Prime 4 on your console, right? We don't have a lot of time to say, all right, Metroid Prime 2 is coming out in October. When's Metroid Prime 3 coming out, right? You want to give players a chance to play through 1, 2, and 3 so they can pre-order 4 or, buy it the day it comes out or what have you. So I think they need to get a hurry on it. So I think a combo pack actually makes perfect sense. Again, it's less money in the short time, but I think it helps everybody get caught up to speed for Metroid Prime 4. And here's the question. If that's their big holiday release, Metroid Prime 2 and 3 combo pack, does that carry them through Christmas? I don't know. I don't think so. So what do you combo that combo pack with, right? Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD? That'd be pretty cool, right? What about Luigi's Mansion? I tried doing research. I didn't see anything talking about Luigi's Mansion. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I glossed over something. Honestly, I haven't really played the franchise. But, they're on a porting GameCube games over kick, right? So, Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 are playable on the Switch. So, maybe you do Metroid Prime 2 and 3 while also releasing Luigi's Mansion? Maybe that's your holiday season? I don't know, guys. What do y'all think is going to be Nintendo's big holiday push? Maybe they do just take the holiday season off. Maybe they're like, here's Metroid Prime 2 and 3, and they announce that, they're doing pre-orders for Metroid Prime 4 and the Switch's successor. Maybe this holiday season is more about announcing the Switch's successor and doing like a hype tour leading into next year. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? What are we getting in this June Direct? Because I'm not going to go with the whole Mario Kart 9 or, you watch these Nintendo Direct videos, there's so many predictions, and you just know that none of those things are going to come true, guys. So, what do y'all think we're getting in this Nintendo Direct? Be sure to let me know. Thank you for watching. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.